Welcome to the Jali podcast. I'm your host, Melyssa Barrett. This podcast is for those who are interested in the conversation around equity, diversity, and inclusion. Each week, I'll be interviewing a guest who has something special to share or is actively part of building solutions in the space. Let's get started. Welcome to the Jali podcast, where we celebrate diversity, equity, and inclusion in all aspects of life. I'm your host, Melyssa Barrett, and today we're diving into a topic that is deeply personal and profoundly impactful: motherhood, through the lens of diversity, equity, and inclusion. This is going to be a short podcast, but hopefully will get you thinking. Motherhood is a universal experience that transcends boundaries of race, ethnicity, culture, and identity. Yet within this shared journey, there are unique experiences and challenges faced by mothers, especially from marginalized communities. So let's start by just acknowledging that the traditional image of motherhood, often portrayed in mainstream media, tends to be white, middle class, heterosexual. And this narrow representation not only excludes the diverse realities of motherhood, but also perpetuates harmful stereotypes and erases the experiences of many women. I won't even go into all of the stigma and discrimination associated with the LGBTQ plus community. As we strive for equity and inclusion, it's crucial to amplify the voices of mothers from marginalized communities and recognize the intersectionality of their identities. We are not one thing. And I think sometimes people forget that people are very complex beings. We have many identities. So, for example, mothers of color often face systemic barriers that impact their access to healthcare, economic opportunities, and support networks. Despite these challenges, mothers from marginalized communities demonstrate resilience, strength, and love in abundance. They create spaces of belonging, solidarity within their communities, offering support and guidance to one another in the face of adversity. Furthermore, motherhood is not limited to biological ties. It encompasses a spectrum of experiences, including adoption, fostering, surrogacy, and chosen family. And by embracing this diversity of paths to motherhood, we honor the myriad of ways in which love and caregiving manifest in our lives. It's essential to center DEI principles in our conversations and policies surrounding motherhood. This means advocating for equitable access to reproductive health care, paid parental leave, affordable childcare, and other resources that support mothers and families from all backgrounds. As we celebrate Mother's Day and beyond, let's commit to amplifying the voices of all mothers, fostering a culture of inclusivity and support, and working towards a world where every mother and child can thrive, regardless of race, ethnicity, gender identity, sexual orientation, or socioeconomic status. That's all for today's episode of the Jali podcast. Thanks for joining me in this important conversation on motherhood and DEI. Remember, diversity, equity, and inclusion are not just ideals to aspire to. They're the foundation of a more just and compassionate society. If you want to contribute to the conversation, send us an email. You can find me at melyssabarrett.com, MELYSSABARRETT.com. I look forward to hearing from you. Until next time, keep shining your light and lifting others along the way. And happy Mother's Day. Thanks for joining me on the Jali podcast. Please subscribe so you won't miss an episode. See you next week.
This podcast is a part of the C-Suite Radio Network. For more top business podcasts, visit c-suiteradio.com.